Exposing how I budget my paycheck while trying to pay off over $29,000 worth of debt so you can feel better about your debt.
If something happens, like an emergency, or I miss a paycheck for some reason, I'm done. I am done.
I don't know how people are doing it. Today we're going to be reacting to people going through their paychecks and exposing all the bills they have to pay and seeing if they can actually budget in today's society. Today's society is making people get stretched thinner than they've ever been before. How are people getting by? That's the topic for today's video. Let's see how people are actually getting by with these clips.
People don't seem to understand what it means to live paycheck to paycheck. So I'm going to do something stupid in front of TikTok right now. I'm going to perform a financial audit in front of all of you. And, you'll see what my finances are and just how tight everything is right now, okay? So I have a job as a news reporter, but I'm on disability, long-term disability from my job right now for a health reason that I'll get into in another video. But it pays monthly, and my monthly payment is $3,071.01, okay? And my water bill just came out this month. It's $145. My gas bill, $82.01. My bill for my furnace rental is $33.89. My mortgage payment, it comes out every 2 weeks, it's $635.61. My loan payment for my car, $366.24. My hydro bill, my electric bill, $93.55. This is all Canadian, by the way. If you're an American, just get up to speed here. And my mortgage payment came out again, $635.61. Car loan, $366.24. And $200 payment for debt. My debt payment, $200. Phone bill for me and my wife, $162. And real quick, I forgot to add my home insurance, my mortgage insurance, the monthly fee for my bank account, and my internet bill. That leaves me with $136.56. for the month. That's for groceries. If anything comes up, any emergency comes up, I have $136.56 to figure out how to pay for that. My wife has a job as well. She's also on short-term disability, and all of her money is taken up with student loan debt, credit card debt, and auto insurance, and groceries. She pays for the groceries. So all we're really left with as a family is $136.56 for the entire month. That is nothing. There's no room for savings. If I was to save every single penny, I would save $1,000, like maybe $1,200 for the year. This is not sustainable. If things become even more expensive, that number goes down even further. It is not sustainable, and it is ridiculous. People should be paid more for their work. People need savings. People need an emergency fund. People need enough to go out, to enjoy life. I've cut down every single expense that I possibly can. Like, we've cut down our streaming services. We don't go out. We don't go to the movies. We don't order in. We don't go to the restaurants or anything like that. I don't even buy new clothes. This is the life that we live. Our employers need to do better. Billionaires and mega corporations, I work for a mega corporation, need to do better. And we need social safety nets to pull people out of poverty, to pull people out of homelessness, to make sure that people at risk of homelessness, if I lose a paycheck, if something happens, like an emergency, or I miss a paycheck for some reason, I'm done. I am done.
I don't understand how people can live that way. I at least have ways that I can extract value out of something. If I really needed to get money in a pinch, I could do it, but people are literally living paycheck to paycheck, and to me that is shocking. That is a horrible way to live, especially if you have anxiety.
It's almost the end of July, so let's talk about my finances for this month. Starting off, I had $1,000 in my savings, and in my checkings I had $84.57. I had 2 paychecks come in. I had one on July 7th and then one on July 21st. In the first paycheck, I worked 85.5 hours with gross income of $1,535.26. With a net income of $1,267.52, which is what actually hit my account, because withholdings was $258, $258.74, and then I pay $9 a check for healthcare. For my second check, I worked 65.55 hours because I had July 4th off. Not my choice, but they gave everyone the day off, so it was a little bit short of that paycheck, and I had to call out a little early because I was sick. Gross income, $1,386.2. Withholding was $195.66, and then $9 for healthcare. So it hit my bank account was $1,181.36, and then I also made $150 selling things. So in total, what came in was $2,598.88. So then let's talk about what I spent. So my rent is $1,000, and then I had $107 in bills for my apartment. So in total, first day of July, it was $1,107 left my savings. These percentages are based off of the $2,598.88 that hit my account this month. So of the $1,107 that I paid for rent/bills, that was 46% of my total income this month. I had $213.56 in credit card bills, and that was 0.08% of my total income. I had spent $72.54 for job-related things, and that was 0.03% of my income. I had a big month for car expenses because my sister gave me her car, so I needed to fix it and then register it. So for car-related things, it was $719.02, and that was 29% of my income this month. For personal things, it was $154, and that was 0.06% of my income. For food/eating out, it was $94.99, and that was 0.03% of my income. And then I had $39.75 in miscellaneous, and that was 0.016 of my income. So left over, I had $115.18. In total this month, I spent $2,401.04, and I saved $1,022.65 for my rent on August 1st. And then I also had put $354.48 on my credit cards, plus $19.12 charged in interest for gas.
Well, I will say she at least does a very good job budgeting at the very least, so I commend her for that. But again, when you're stretching yourself so thin, you're still pretty much living paycheck to paycheck. Let's see if this next individual does a better job at least budgeting. Maybe she won't, but to be honest, it's getting harder and harder out there to stretch their paychecks.
Exposing how I budget my paycheck while trying to pay off over $29,000 worth of debt so you can feel better about your debt. I have a full-time job working as a process engineer for a Tier 1 aerospace manufacturer in Canada. My bi-weekly paycheck is $1,829.64. So the way I plan my paycheck is by looking at my calendar and all my upcoming bills, subtracting the bill amounts from my paycheck, and putting the majority of the leftover onto paying off my credit card debt. So my bills for the next 2 weeks total $744.05. After that, I budget for variable expenses, including gas, groceries, and taking care of my cat. The budget for those categories is $315. After all my bills and budgeting is taken care of, my planned credit card payments for this paycheck total $620.59 split between 2 credit cards. That means I'm left with $150 to spend on entertainment activities for the next 2 weeks. I hope you'll join me as I pay off my debt throughout the year. And in case no one told you today, you are allowed to rest even if you feel like you haven't earned it. I'm exposing how I budget my paycheck while trying to pay off over $29,000 worth of debt so you can feel better about your debt. I have a full-time job working as a process engineer for a tier 1 aerospace manufacturer in Canada. My bi-weekly paycheck is $1,829.64. So the way I plan my paycheck is by looking at my calendar and all my upcoming bills, subtracting the bill amounts from my paycheck, and putting the majority of the leftover onto paying off my credit card debt. So my bills for the next 2 weeks total $744.05. After that, I budget for variable expenses, including gas, groceries, and taking care of my cat. The budget for those categories is $315. After all my bills and budgeting is taken care of, my planned credit card payments for this paycheck total $620.59 split between 2 credit cards. That means I'm left with $150 to spend on entertainment activities for the next 2 weeks. I hope you'll join me as I pay off my debt throughout the year. And in case no one told you today, you are allowed to rest even if you feel like you haven't earned it.
What was that, $156 she has to entertain herself with for 2 weeks? Good luck with that. Well, I mean, if you don't drink alcohol, at least that's a big portion that you could be like literally pissing away. But still, that's not a lot of money. And she's already in a pretty big hole with all of that debt.
Let's talk about how I budget $1,600 per paycheck living on Long Island. So first we'll start with rent. So right now I pay $250 a month. My husband pays the same, $250 a month. So $500 altogether, which I know is extremely cheap for Long Island. We are very lucky with the situation that we're in, that we're able to pay something so low. Within the next 2 or 3 months, we are actually going to be buying his childhood home. So at that point, we will have a mortgage. Next up, I have my 2 Marcus savings accounts. One is for renovations when we do buy my husband's childhood home and we want to do some renovations to it. So that I put $15 per paycheck away, so about $30 a month. And then the next is my daughter's school savings, which we do $25 per paycheck. So for myself, I put about $50 a month in. So I know that those are very low amounts to be putting into a savings account, but right now my husband and I are working to pay off debt. Once the debt's paid off, we will then begin to put more and more in as the time goes on. So my husband and I actually got married in December of 2024, and we used our credit cards for some wedding expenses, honeymoon expenses, and I mean, we got some points. So was it worth it? Yeah. Do we have to pay it off? Of course. So that's what we're doing now. So from this paycheck, I will be paying off $1,300 from my Apple Card, and that'll cut it completely in half. So then my next paycheck in 2 weeks, I will be paying the rest off completely. And then that will be one less credit card to worry about. And after that's actually paid off, I will only have 1 credit card and 1 personal loan. And then I will be credit card / personal loan debt free overall. So I know that I said I make $1,618.18 per paycheck. So with this paycheck, I'm actually only taking care of my Apple Card and my Marcus savings accounts. And then my next paycheck, I will also take out my rent. So my rent's not going to be included in this total after I'm done. So with that being said, my leftover from this pay period is going to be $278.18. However, what I didn't talk about in my last video is I actually do have a second job. And with that second job, I work 1 day a week. It is about 6 hours, and it's where I actually used to work prior to me working my full-time job. It's a very easy job. The people that I work with are amazing, and full transparency, they took me back with the old pay that I used to make. So I make $19 an hour for the 1 day a week that I work there for 6 hours. So this week actually is the same pay week. Today is actually the same payday for where I work part-time, but I'm not going to get it until tomorrow. I'm going to go pick it up. And if I'm correct, it should be about $198 to $200, but we'll see tomorrow when I get it. If that is correct, though, I will have $476.18 to last me until my next 2 paychecks come in for my next pay period.
Let me know how you guys are doing it, because it sounds like people are trying to make it work, and some people surprisingly are making it work even with the limited amount of funds they have, even while they're in debt. So I commend all the individuals out there who are trying to make ends meet, but it's obviously getting a lot harder now in today's economy and in today's society. There's a lot more people out there that you guys can find that are just simply living paycheck to paycheck. So if a family emergency or any emergency comes up at all, a lot of them are completely screwed, especially if they don't have anything that they can sell that has any value alone in their house, right? So if they don't have any personal items that they can sell, they're really in a pinch. Anyways, leave your thoughts about this down below. Leave your thoughts about this down below in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.